All right, let's take a look at some of the trending tickers today. Shares of Nvidia once again on the move, this time off just about 0.6%. The move here ahead of its second quarter earnings results out after the bell next Wednesday. Now, when you take a look at some of the action that we've seen in Nvidia recently, analysts are getting even more bullish on the stock heading into this upcoming earnings report. UBS, Baird, Morgan Stanley all out with bullish commentary. And then today, we're hearing from Oppenheimer, the firm reiterating its outperform rating, raising its price target by $80 to $500 a share. It seems like everyone, Diane, right now is jumping on board with Nvidia. But when you take a look at the case, the bull case that so many of these analysts are making, we also heard this from Raymond James. Just don't get discouraged. Their message, at least, is don't get discouraged by some of the recent pressure that we've seen in Nvidia stock. They see that momentum returning to the stock following these earnings results, and they really see that AI rally, that AI excitement staying intact.
Yeah, that AI fervor is certainly behind this, and we've seen again, case after case of this week, a flurry of pre-results comments on it, and the Oppenheimer note, talking about seeing the upside sales, EPS sales of 11.1 billion. So they're just seeing that, continuing that trend of seeing the growth. I love the note that the UBS analyst put out earlier this week, calling Nvidia kingmaker. In terms of the chip sector. They're just continuing to, they're far out in front. We've talked to analyst after analyst about where Nvidia is in terms of the AI play. So I'm not surprised to see this bullish run up ahead of their earnings next week. In terms of the stock being dinged a little bit today, we know part of that comes with just the broader market action, along with maybe just some cooling ahead of the results next week.
Yeah, right. Certainly. We have seen some, encouraging recent reports here. I think I just read this is the 8th analyst to raise their expectations ahead of the results next week. You mentioned Kingmaker there from UBS. That caught my attention. Also what Morgan Stanley had to say when they named Nvidia a top pick heading into these results, saying that the recent drop is a good entry point, but also pointing out that despite some of those supply constraints, they still expect a meaningful beat and raise this quarter. So we'll see, because remember, this is a stock that's up just about 200% since the start of the year.
I know. And it's like, can it go even further than that? We will see.
So.
Indeed. All right. On the flip side, shares of Hawaiian Electric are trading down sharply. That stock down more than 21% today after the Wall Street Journal reporting the company is in talks with restructuring firms. That news comes as the death toll from Maui's wildfire surpasses 100, and reports say 100 more are unaccounted for. This is a very, very difficult situation. Hawaiian Electric facing a lot of the blame for could they have done more to prevent these wildfires and to prevent the devastation that's occurring there in Hawaii. Several lawsuits have already been filed, and they're expecting more to come, Seana.
Yeah, they are expecting more to come. You're looking at the share price also off just about 66%. Obviously, this is a devastating story when you talk about the fact that over 100 lives have been lost up until this point. And you also talk about what this means for Hawaiian Electric, or what they could have done and should have done in order to prevent a tragedy like this. And when it comes at least to the investor side of things, what Wall Street has to say when it comes to Hawaiian Electric, we've heard a lot of comparisons over the last several days to what happened with PG&E going back to 2019 when they filed for bankruptcy protection following the California wildfires that were blamed on its equipment. So some of the commentary that's at least coming out from the Wall Street side of things, drawing those comparisons and saying it's certainly going to be a challenging time ahead for Hawaiian Electric. Indeed. And when you take a look at some of the moves that we've already seen this week, with S&P earlier this week downgrading their credit rating to junk, also placing the company on watch for further downgrades, just really points to the fact that from the investor side of things, we could also see a move even lower here.
Indeed. From the investor side to, the people affected by this devastating situation, a lot of blame it has been put on Hawaiian Electric. So no surprise to see what's happening to the stock there.